Hey guys, how's it going? It's Python. Welcome back to some more Haikyu Fly High, and Kunimi is out on global as of today, and we'll actually be pulling for him later today on stream. So if you want to come through, please feel free to do so. In a couple of hours, we're gonna be live. But essentially, I just wanted to talk a little bit about. And listen, we'll go over his skills quickly, but mostly I want to talk about his skill resonance. Before going over his skills, I just will say that he is a good unit, but his playstats as well, receive and power attack, are really common, right? He doesn't really have incredible synergy with anybody by himself. I would say that Kunimi without skill resonance 2 is, for me, and I would say for a majority of teams, an easy skip. I would say, you know, he's very self-sustained, you know, in terms of the stamina, but not really anything special in my personal opinion. And also he doesn't really have that many good, strong bonds with anybody in the future as well. As of now, you never know. We're probably gonna get like an SP Kindaichi that might have a good bond. So you never know. But if you're not going to get him SR2, for me, he's not worth it. The real question comes at skill resonance 2 because of his ability that he has to recover 8 stamina. Here we go, just the last line. While Kunimi is on the bench, your player restore 8 stamina at the end of each round. That's what he is there for. And we'll go over the skills real quick before we talk about that. Right, so first of all, Kunimi's power attack stat increases by 10%. When Kunimi stamina is below 80, power attack stat gains an additional 12%, which is nice, but it's not going to be there very often, because when Kunimi is on the court, at the end of each round, if Kunimi's max stamina is greater than 80, his max stamina decreases by 10, and current stamina recovers by 120, so it's not really going to be below 80 that much. When Kunimi is on the court, for every 10 stamina points your side's players lose, Kunimi gains a stack of conservative rating. Each stack increases awareness by 7, up to 30 stacks, gaining at most 10 stacks per round. So yeah, that's really good. He can get a big awareness upgrade every time your side spends 10 stamina, which is, you know, it can happen quite a lot. Obviously, it's gonna happen quite a lot. Next up is the receive skill, 140% receive, and the basic stats of your side's players increase by 10% for 2 net crossings. Really good. Again, just solid. Next up, the third skill, the second passive. Each time Kunimi recovers stamina, his power attack increases by 0.8 up to 16% at the start of each round. If his max stamina is below 80, he enters the decisive moment state. While in the decisive moment state, Burning Spirit's cooldown is reduced by 6 net crossings, which is his ult. When his awareness exceeds 100, for every 1% above his value, he gains 0.9% strength up to 90, which is really good. And after he enters the decisive moment state, the first 2 times Burning Spirit is used, the cooldown is reset. So it's really nice, and he also hits quite hard for the ult. Kunimi consumes 8 additional stamina points, 8 additional stamina to perform a power spike with 295%. When Kunimi's stamina exceeds 50, the spike's power is increased by an additional 50% of his power attack stats. So he can hit really hard. Obviously, for the first like 4 rallies or something, he's gonna like recover himself fully. He's gonna be really good. But after that, like it's just. It's normal, so he's obviously gonna last you a little bit longer, but obviously his max stamina is also gonna go down when he recovers fully at the beginning. Skill Resonance 2 fully says the first part, which we didn't read, which is while he's on the court. Full potential condition is modified. When Kunimi recovers stamina, is changed when Kunimi is on the court and your team recovers stamina. And when Kunimi is in the decisive moment state and uses spike ultimate, your players restore 3 stamina, and the player with the lowest restores an extra 8, which is, you know, it's nice, but it's not as often as 8 stamina at the end of each rally. I think, as I said before, he's not great. Like he's a good unit. He's not a bad unit at all, but I think really he doesn't have this massive synergy with anybody. So he's not a must-have. I don't think he's a good, like he's not really a pillar or a cornerstone of any team. Really, it's not a main piece of a puzzle that is a good power attack or receive team. I think that there's just, you know, with the school festival trio, I think those three are just, you know, and he can work with them, right? He can work with them really well, but I just think that I just think that there's not really a team where he belongs, that you're like, oh yes, he's a massive part of that. Again, he can do a job as a power attack piece or as a receive piece in that team. Absolutely, no doubt about that. But really, you just want the 8 stamina while he's on the bench. Now, is it worth it going all the way to Skill Resonance 2, a character that you're not really going to use more often than not? Also, we're going to talk about the memory as well in a second. I think for the long run, it is extremely good and versatile and really powerful to have, because in my opinion, it's extremely unique and it's always going to be beneficial no matter what you're interested in. Whether you value club contests more, whether you value big challenge more, those are really just the two you know, main games. If you value the 3v3, I guess that's not really going to help you much, but I don't really know many people that value that as their main form of you know, content that they like to do on the game. But yeah, for me, I would say both of those things, both Peak Challenge and the Club Contest, you're gonna benefit from this. And there's nothing else like this. There's nothing else like him. So if you grab him now, until we catch up to JP, he's always gonna help you out in the way that he can. And in my personal opinion, I don't see them dropping anything like this. Someone that doesn't have to be on the court to help restore stamina, which again, restoring stamina is very unique. It's you know, it's not done by a lot of players, and you know, there are some bonds between players. There are obviously players that do recover stamina, like Suga, but Suga's a bit different because he also cuts your stamina in half, so the stamina that he recovers is 15 for 4 rallies, which is 60, but half of 120 is also 60. So it's kind of like, it doesn't really make much of a difference if you start him, you kind of have to sub him in. But that's another discussion for Suga. So it's not really truly as good as Kunimi's. And obviously you have the School Festival trio, they can kind of restore a little bit of stamina between them, but Kunimi's is always there. And also in the future, right, these players that need to be on the court, they're gonna be power crept. There's gonna be a better V2 version of them that's gonna come out. And listen, there might be a second Kunimi, I don't know. I mean, at this rate, I wouldn't be surprised at the game, but you know, I just think that it's not gonna go anywhere, right? It's always gonna be there for you to have that 8 stamina. You're always gonna benefit from it, and you know, you're not gonna have to build as many characters either to bring off the bench. But again, it depends on your gameplay, right? If you feel like you're getting screwed up a lot when you lose stamina, which a lot of teams, and I did a video talking about, you know, playing with Hinata, with Osamu, and with Liev with the unblockable spikes, and that team really works well because you have unblockable spikes, but they are unblockable because of their skills, and if they can't use their skills because they're low on stamina, that's always going to be a big issue. So in my opinion, he is a very, very big and great investment, but not at the cost of your main plans, in my opinion. If you know, if you're going for the School Festival trio that's just coming out, that's just, you know, right around the corner, and you're like, I'm gonna miss out on one of them if I grab SR2 Kunimi, I would say no, don't do it. Don't do it. Maybe wait for his rerun or something. But again, I think it's very unique at what he does, and he is, in his own little way, the most versatile character in the game at Skill Resonance 2. I don't know if I want to say that because obviously he's not on the court, but at what he does, he is the most versatile. You know, you could say Hoshimi, but like Hoshimi could get a second version next week, and like the first version is dead. You know, like, or we could have he could easily be power crept. Any player that does play can be power crept. Whereas if we get another one that does exactly what Kunimi does, which again, in my personal opinion, it's very unlikely that we do. Very unlikely. Even if we do get someone that doesn't need to be on the court, then that's just extra stamina. You recover like 16 instead of 8. That's cool. You know, it's not ideal, but it's cool. You know, it's not ideal to have one for Skill Resonance 2 if they drop a regular character, but I just don't see that happening anyways. I think his value is very unique, very unique. Let's go for his memory. Let's check it out. Increase the equipper's power attack stat by 12. When the equipper's stamina is below 80, their attack technique increases by 4%. Each time the equipper recovers stamina, their strength increases by 6, up to 5 stacks. Actually a decent one for Ushijima, both UR and SP. However, the SP Ushijima memory is also really strong. It's a lot more straightforward because Ushijima, obviously you want the strength boost. I don't remember if his memory gives it to him. I know his memory is really good. Like, Ushijima's memory is really good. This one will benefit him, obviously, because of the strength increase, and if you have Oikawa and Iwaizumi, you don't even need Kunimi to recover stamina, because the three of them will help you do that a lot. If it wasn't 5 stacks only, if it was a bit more, it would be busted for Ushijima, but, you know, his strength is going to go up anyways, so I don't really see this being important outside of using it for Kunimi, but Kunimi for me is not really going to be a starting player long term. Like, he could do a job, especially now in the game. I think where we are in global, he can be really good, but I think get him SR2, put him on the bench, having recover stamina, he's gonna be doing fine. He's gonna be doing really a lot of work for you, because, you know, 120 is the max stamina. Let's say a game goes on for I mean, it's not gonna go out for 10 rallies, but that would be like 80 stamina. That's crazy, right? It's not gonna go for 10. But even at 72 at 9 at max, for example, and listen, he could go for less. Obviously could go for less, but the rallies could be longer, right? So you never know with this thing. But even like 72 stamina, as I said, recovered for the entire game, that's like more than half of what you have. So it might not seem like a much, recovering 8 stamina each rally, but it is. It makes a big difference, and it helps you out from having to build up maybe your bench players, or 1 or 2. But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, I will be live in a couple of hours. I've already scheduled the stream to pull for Kunimi, so if you want to come through, please feel free to do so. And yeah, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.